Hey guys, Leo Gaming here. Hey guys, Leo Gaming here. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I just haven't had that much time. And today I thought I'd do something a little different. I thought I'd do some Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game deck profiles because I did say in the past that I was going to put some new stuff on my channel. I just couldn't figure out what to put. So now we're doing this. So today I'll be showing you a Ghostrick Deck Profile. It's 45 cards. Some of you are gonna wonder why it's 45 cards, but I've played this deck extensively, and I personally think that every one of these cards is necessary in this deck, otherwise the deck doesn't work. I've tried cutting this deck to 40, and when you cut it to 40, it just loses a lot of its energy. So let's start this off by starting with the main searcher, Ghostrick Changshi or Changshi. Before I actually start this, all the Ghostricks have an effect, except the Xyz, that you can change once per turn. You can change them into face down defense, and they cannot be normal summoned unless you have a face up Ghostrick, which means if you don't have a face up Ghostrick, you have to set them face down. So sometimes it's a little bit of a pain, but other than that, it's not usually a problem. So we'll start off with Ghostrick Changshi, as I said. He has the same effect as all the other Ghostricks, where he can be flipped face down once per turn, and can't be normal summoned unless you have a face up Ghostrick. His effect is when he's flipped up in general, which means if you flip summon him, or he's flipped up because he was attacked, you can search for a Ghostrick in your deck whose level is equal to the amount of face up Ghostricks. So, if you have one of him on the field and they attack it, you can just flip it up, search for a Spectre, then activate its effect, special summon it face down, draw a card, if he was destroyed. But if he wasn't destroyed when they attacked it because they were too short of attack, you could just search for, like, a Mary or a Lantern or a Jack Frost. Yeah, so we are on 3 of those. Then we go into Ghostrick Stein. Ghostrick Stein has the same effect as all the other Ghostricks. And then his effect is when he inflicts damage to your opponent, you can search for a Ghostrick Spell Trap, which is Mansion, Ghostrick Vanish, Ghostrick Go Around, and Ghostrick Scare. And he's your big beater. He's got 1600. There's only one with attack higher than that, and that's Alucard, which is your main Xyz. And then we go into Spectre. Spectre has the same effect as the rest. Can't be normal summoned, and unless there's another face up Ghostrick, and he can be put into face down defense once per turn. His effect is when he's in your hand and a Ghostrick monster is destroyed on your field, period. Battle or card effect. You can special summon him in face down defense and draw a card. So he's good. Then we run one Ghostrick Mary. Ghostrick Mary is when your opponent inflicts damage to you, you can discard it and special summon a Ghostrick from your deck and face down defense. So they direct attack you for half damage with Mansion. And then you discard that, special summon a Changshi and face down defense. And then next turn you can activate its effect and search for a Spectre, Lantern, or Jack Frost. And then we go into Lanterns. Ghostrick Lantern's effect is when it's in your hand and your opponent declares an attack, you can special summon it and face down defense and draw a card. So, unlike Jack Frost, his effect, you can negate an attack that's either direct or on a Ghostrick monster, where Jack Frost, his effect is you can set when your opponent's monster is face down when it declares an attack, a direct attack, and then special summon Jack Frost and face down defense from your hand. All the level 1s, their effects activate from your hand. They're your hand traps and stuff. They help you lots. They save you a lot of the time. Then we go into Ghostrick Witch. I run 2 of those. Ghostrick Witch, his effect is you can target one of your opponent's face-up monsters and set it in face-down defense, which is pretty useful. you can just set their monsters face down, and then with Mansion you can just attack over it, which is pretty good, even if they have really big beaters out. Like 2,000-3,000 beaters. Okay, that's cool. Which set their monster face down, attack over top of it. And then we run one Ghostrick Ghoul. Ghostrick Ghoul's effect is, well, he has the same effect as the rest of the Ghostricks, but his main effect is during your main phase 1, target a Ghostrick on your field, and its attack becomes equal to the total attack of all the Ghostricks. So if you have him out on the field and you have like a skeleton, a mummy, and a Stein, that's just at least 4,000, 4,000 or 5,000 right there. Because that's 1,000, just rough adding out, that's 2,300, 3,800, 5,400. Or I'm not good with math, so don't judge me. But yeah, and then with Mansion, you can just pound that into them for direct damage. So he's pretty good. And then Ghostrick Skeleton, he has the same effect as all the rest of the Ghostricks. His effect is when you flip face up, you can banish cards on the top of your opponent's deck equal to the amount of Ghostricks you have on your field. So if you have a full field of face-up Ghostricks and you flip him up, they have to banish 5 from the top of their deck. So even if he's there and they attack into it, and it gets flipped up and they have to banish 1 from the top, and they banish them face down. So that helps mill out your opponent's deck. And then we have one Ghostrick Mummy. Ghostrick Mummy's effect is you can normal summon one Ghostrick monster in addition to your normal summon, but while Mummy's on the field, you can only special summon dark monsters, and once again he has the same effect as all the rest of the Ghostricks. Then we have Ghostrick Yeti. Ghostrick Yeti he's not super useful, but he's kind of a wall. He has the same effect as all the rest of the Ghostricks, and then when he's flipped up, you can target a Ghostrick. It can't be destroyed by a battle or card effects this turn. So if he's the only card on your field and you don't have Mansion, and they attack it, you can flip him up, target himself with his effect, and he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. So he's kind of a wall, and then every turn you can just flip him face down and flip him face up, and then he's a 2,000 wall every turn. Until you activate Mansion, then they can just attack over it. So Mansion is sometimes super useful with you when you're using it, and sometimes it can actually hurt you. And then we run 2 Tour Guide from the Underworld. Pretty much, they're not super useful. You just use them to go into Alucard. You just normal summon it, effect, special summon the other one from your deck or hand, then overlay for Alucard. Now we're going to go into spells. So we run 3 Ghostrick Mansion. Ghostrick Mansion's effect is face down defense position monsters cannot be targeted for attacks, and when the opponent has a full field of face down monsters, you can attack directly. Except all monsters except Ghostricks are half damage. So even like Jin Buster or King Overfiend, when they attack, they're just halved. But if Ghostrick Alucard or Ghostrick Dillahunt or any of the rest of the Ghostricks attack, they inflict full damage. So it's pretty useful. And then we run 2 Powder Duality, just consistency and thinning out the deck a little bit. Yeah, then we run 1 MST. You gotta run the 1 MST. It's just, this deck has a lot of stall in it, and sometimes you can get into really late game, and you can win in late game really easy if you draw this and you destroy their crucial stuff, like a field spell or stuff that's preventing you from activating your field spell or anything that's continuous. So then we have 1 Swords of Concealing Light, and Swords of Concealing Light is you flip all your opponent's monsters into face down defense, and they can't be flipped up or change their battle position for 2 of your standby phases. So if you have Mansion out on the field, you just activate this, lock all theirs face down, and attack over it for two turns. Then we have 1 Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is you flip all monsters on the field in the face down defense, and then at the end of your end phase, no, not your end phase, not the end of your end phase, You flip, your opponents get flipped up and they draw a card for each, which is kind of paired with Skeleton because it just thins out the deck a little bit. And if you're gonna go into late game, that couple card advantage can be the reason why you win because your opponents might just deck out. I've done that before with this deck. And then I run one Book of Moon. It's just necessary. It's even better with this deck. One Dark Hole. And sometimes you just gotta clear the field when you're unsuccessful with trying to get rid of their stuff. One Nobleman of Crossout. This is what I generally pair with Witch, because you can target one of the monsters, set it face down, then activate Nobleman of Crossout, banish it, and if the banished monster was a flip effect monster, you banish any others from their deck. So that's pretty useful. Just get rid of the big beaters with a Witch, Nobleman of Crossout. I only run one because this deck's already 45 cards. Then we go into traps, so we have two Ghostrick Vanish. Ghostrick Vanish's effect is you can reveal Ghostrick in your hand. Ghostrick monsters and face-down defense position monsters cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects this turn. So if you activate Vanish, and then activate Dark Hole or Needle Sealing, your monsters are safe while your opponents are destroyed, which is pretty good. Then I run one Ghostrick Go Round, because it's pretty useful. It can only be used during your battle phase, but once per turn you can activate one of its effects. It has two effects. One of them is you can target one face-up Ghostrick, put it face down, and then flip one of your opponent's face up, or you can target one face down one you control, flip it face up, and then target one of your opponents and flip it face down. So it's just kind of a little bit of trickery. Ghostrick Scare, pretty much it's a large one of these, but it's not continuous, so you flip all yours up. For every Ghostrick, you can flip your opponents down. So if you have Changshi, because they all get flipped up at the same time, you get to search for a level 2 or 3 or whatever. So that's pretty good. Then we have one Needle Sealing. When there's 4 more monsters on the field, destroy all face-up monsters. It doesn't say 4 face-up monsters, so you can just destroy your opponent's field with it really easily, because they're going to be face-up, and you're going to always be face-down. So yeah, that's useful. One Dark Bribe, you gotta negate some of those spell traps that are gonna destroy you, that you're not expected for, like Dark Hole when you don't have Vanish, or stuff like that. One Call of the Haunted, sometimes you gotta bring back your Ghoul, or your Mummy, or your Skeleton, or your Stein. You gotta bring it back to do quick plays. Then I run two Mirror Force because it's stall. Then one Compulse, it's also stall. One Bottomless, it's kind of also stall. And one Solemn Warning to negate their summons, because sometimes you gotta get rid of their big monsters. Then we're gonna go into the Exceed. Two Slacker Magician. It can't be destroyed by battle once per turn, and if it's targeted by a card effect, you can detach one Exceed unit and negate the activation of that card and destroy it. Two Dullahan, or Dullahan, against 200 for each Ghostrick on your field, so including himself, so when he goes onto the field, he's 1200, and his effect is during either player's turn, you can detach one Exceed unit, and cut one of your opponent's monsters' attack in half until the end phase. It's pretty good. You can just attack over their beaters if you don't have Ghoul. Then one Djinn Buster. It's just, sometimes you can go into it with Witch. It's very seldom that you go into it, and sometimes you don't really use it, but basically you just bring it out. Then if your opponent activates an effect, detach 2 units, destroy it, negate it, then destroy it, and then inflict 500 damage. King Overfiend. I'm not running Guardian's Force or anything, or Numeron Force, but you can have these, and this is just 3 level 3 darks, so you can go into it with your Ghostricks, because they're level 3 darks. And you can still activate the effect where you can detach one, and your opponent's monster, you can target an opponent's monster and it loses 1000 attack and defense. So that's pretty good. And then your main Exceed, Ghostrick Alucard, which is he's the only card you can attack when it's on the field, on your side of the field. and you can attach one Exceeds unit to destroy a face-down monster. So this is also something you can pair with Witch. You can just go Witch, set the monster face down, then go into Alucard. Alucard destroys a face down, and then when he's destroyed, you can add a Ghostrick from your graveyard to your hand. And I forgot, Double Hunt does the same thing. When he's destroyed, you can add a Ghostrick from your graveyard to your hand. And yeah, it's pretty much Ghostricks, and there's tons of good strategies with this. This deck is just amazing. I've done extensive testing with it, and this deck, it takes sometimes a really long time, but you can win pretty good with this deck a lot of the time. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Leo Gaming out.